After failing the college entrance exam, Soo Han-yu served as Shin-lin's devoted wife for 40 years. She served her mother-in-law, raised Shin-lin's younger siblings, and cared for their children, trading her exhausted body for what others saw as a perfect family. Yet Shin-lin's dying wish was to forbid her from attending his funeral, fearing she would disturb his journey to the next life. Half of Shin-lin's assets went to their children, and the other half to the woman he had cherished for half his life. All that was left for Soo Han-yu was a brief letter. I have spent these 40 years repaying the debt for that admission letter that was taken away. It turned out that, back then, to fulfill his first love's dream of attending university, he had taken Soo Han-yu's admission letter, ruining her entire life. Soo Han-yu broke down and went mad, crying and demanding to know why. Only to be despised by her own children. You only got the acceptance letter by sheer luck for a moment. How could you compare to Aunt Lin's ability? Besides, Dad and Aunt Lin have loved each other for 40 years without being together, which has already given you enough dignity. If you embarrass Aunt Lin again, don't blame us for sending you to the countryside to fend for yourself. Soo Han-yu was so angry that she died on the spot. When she opened her eyes again, she had returned to the year of the college entrance examination. At that time, the admission notice was still on its way, and Soo Han-yu's life had just begun. Late autumn of 2018. The solemn funeral hall was filled with flowers for mourning. People comforted the woman wearing a white flower and black mourning clothes, while unable to help but silently mourn the youngest leader in the portrait. Suddenly, a hoarse, angry shout came from outside the door. I am Shin-lin's wife of 40 years. Why won't you let me attend the funeral? Soo Han-yu pushed past the guards. When she rushed into the mourning hall and saw the woman standing in the center, she froze in place instantly. Lin Yu. Why are you here? This woman who has dominated her husband for 40 years. Why must she even encroach upon the last bit of space that belongs to him after his death? Before Lin Yu could speak, Shen Tsong and Shen Yu, the brother and sister, rushed out together and pushed Soo Han-yu aside. Mom, haven't you caused enough trouble? This is Dad's last wish. You've been entangled with Dad your whole life. Can't you even let him go in death? Soo Han-yu stood frozen in place, while the lawyer beside her sighed and spoke up. Mrs. Shen, this is indeed Chief Shen's final wish. He explicitly stated that after his death, half of his assets should go to Miss Lin Yu, and the other half to his 2 children. And he does not wish for you to attend his funeral. The lawyer's words struck Soo Han-yu's mind like a thunderbolt. Her breathing instantly became rapid as she stepped forward and grabbed the lawyer's hand. Impossible. I've been married to Shin-lin for 40 years. Taking care of my mother-in-law, raising his siblings, and raising our children. What have I done wrong? He wouldn't do this to me. Seeing this, the lawyer couldn't bear it and took out an envelope. This is the only thing Chief Shen left for you. Soo Han-yu snatched it away. But when she opened it, there was only a short line of text. The acceptance letter that was taken away. I've repaid it over these 40 years. The familiar handwriting struck Soo Han-yu like a hammer blow to the head. She felt dizzy and lightheaded, struggling to breathe. 40 years ago. It was precisely because she didn't have that acceptance letter that she believed she had failed the college entrance exam, and was forced to marry Shin-lin out of necessity. Over the years, Lin Yu had flaunted her superiority over her. Her children looked down on her for lacking education. And even strangers could use this incident to mock her freely. All these years of grievances and injustices, she didn't have to endure them after all. Rage surged in her heart, and she couldn't restrain herself from charging at Lin Yu, only to be shoved away by the ever-vigilant siblings Shen Tsong and Shen Yu. You're still protecting her. Do you even know it was her who stole my admission letter back then? Before Soo Han-yu could finish, Shen Tsong cut her off abruptly. It's just an admission letter. Haven't you had enough being the chief's wife for all these years? Dad and Aunt Lin are meant to be together. It's because of your interference that they haven't been together all these years. If you keep making trouble, we might just dump you in the countryside and let you fend for yourself. Her heart ached as if pierced by a sharp sword, and Soo Han-yu clutched her chest before collapsing to the ground. Others cried out in alarm, but through the gap in the crowd, she saw her own children quietly comforting the frightened Lin Yu. completely ignoring the life or death of their biological mother. An almost suffocating pain surged through her. In the final moments before she was driven to death by anger, Soo Han-yu shed tears of resentment and regret. If she were given another chance to start over, she would protect her admission letter, never letting anyone steal the new life that belonged to her. The painful bitterness gradually faded away. After an unknown amount of time, a blinding light jolted Soo Han-yu fully awake. Her heart was pounding violently in her chest. Before she could fully regain her senses, a familiar voice sounded in her ear. Han-yu. Yeah, isn't feeling well. Help her with this task this time. Soo Han-yu instinctively looked up, but upon seeing the young Shenlin, she immediately lowered her gaze to her hands. Slender and thin, still stained with dirt, yet free of the calluses and scars that would normally come from being busy with household chores. The loudspeaker at the village entrance happened to announce the time. December 7th, 1978. She truly had a chance to start over, returning to 40 years ago, before her acceptance letter was taken. The dull, lifeless eyes suddenly lit up, seeing that Soo Han-yu remained unresponsive for a long time. Shenlin reached out to grab her, but she instinctively slapped his hand away. The memories of her past life were deeply etched in Soo Han-yu's heart, and her hatred made her respond without thinking. What does Lin Yu's poor health have to do with me? Was it me who made her sick? If you feel bad for her, then go help her yourself. Stop bossing me around here. Shenlin stood frozen in place. This was the first time Soo Han-yu had rejected him, and faintly, it felt as though something was slipping away. After uttering these words, Soo Han-yu turned to leave but was immediately blocked by Shenlin. Soo Han-yu. Before Shenlin could finish, Soo Han-yu shouted loudly, "Help! Someone's harassing me." Shenlin panicked and quickly reached out to cover Soo Han-yu's mouth. But Soo Han-yu bit his hand hard. The villagers who had rushed over saw this and immediately struck Shenlin with a stick. Seizing the opportunity, Soo Han-yu dodged Shenlin and ran behind Aunt Wang. It was only then that everyone finally got a clear look at the two of them. "Yuhan. Xiaolin. What are you doing here?" Su Yuhan took the initiative first, grabbing Aunt Wang's hand and complaining pitifully. "Aunt Wang, Shenlin said Lin Yu isn't feeling well and forced me to do her chores. When I refused, he tried to harass me to make me comply." Su Han-yu said this while lowering her head, sobbing and pretending to be on the verge of tears. Lin Yu, who had been watching the drama from the crowd, immediately panicked and said urgently, "Su Han-yu, what nonsense are you talking about? Can you honestly say that the work you did before wasn't done by me?" Su Han-yu tilted her head back and immediately pressed forward with a question. Lin Yu was momentarily speechless. At this time, Lin Yu was not yet the widely praised university professor, but merely a sent-down youth. If a sent-down youth pretended to be delicate and refused to work, once reported, her chances of returning to the city would be further delayed. Shenlin didn't expect Su Han-yu to directly expose these matters, and immediately glared at her fiercely. "Su Han-yu, what are you talking about? Clearly, you offered help voluntarily, now you want to throw the blame on Comrade Lin." Hearing these words, Su Han-yu felt even more irony. "Why am I suddenly helping out when I never did before? And as soon as you're back, I start helping. It's because you forced me to. If you care about Lin Yu so much, fine. Just cancel our wedding. Then you can care about whoever you want." Watching the two of them rendered speechless, Su Han-yu felt an immense sense of satisfaction in her heart. In her previous life, they had ruined her life. In this life, she was determined not to repeat the same mistakes. It would be best to resolve this marriage arrangement directly. Unexpectedly, at that very moment, a stern and authoritative reprimand rang out. "You insolent fool, what are you saying?" Everyone turned to look and found that it was actually Su's father and mother who had arrived together. Upon seeing Su's father, Shenlin immediately gained confidence, and his expression noticeably softened. "Uncle Su." Su's father nodded at Shenlin, then looked sternly at Su Han-yu. "Xiao Lin is a soldier. Do you realize how serious the charge is for falsely accusing him of harassment? And Comrade Lin Jiqing, her good reputation has been ruined by you. I see you've read your book straight into a dog's stomach. Come back with me quickly. Seeing that Sue's parents had arrived, the crowd no longer wished to get involved in their family affairs and quickly made excuses to leave. Soo Han-yu had wanted to say something, but when she met her mother's pleading gaze, she ultimately fell silent. As soon as the crowd dispersed, Sue's father suddenly slapped Soo Han-yu hard across the face. Kneel down. What are you doing? Old Sue. Sue's mother quickly stepped forward, blocking her daughter. Unable to suppress her anger, Shenlin and Lin Yu hadn't expected Sue's father to actually strike, both of them filled with shock. What am I doing? Sue's father pointed at Soo Han-yu and scolded her. Why don't you listen to what she's saying? These days, who would admit that their fiancé is harassing them? Will she even be able to get married then? I won't marry. Mentioning marrying Shenlin, Soo Han-yu's reaction instantly became intense. It was agreed back then that as long as I got into university, I wouldn't have to marry Shenlin. Now that the college entrance exam has just ended, and the admission notices haven't even been released yet, how can you be so sure that I didn't get in? Bastard! Father Sue's blood rushed to his head, and he wanted to strike again, but Mother Sue hurriedly reached out to stop him. Shenlin frowned, although he also felt that Soo Han-yu's disobedience deserved a lesson. That slap just now was enough. Any more might only breed resentment. Thinking this, he spoke up. Uncle Sue, I believe Han-yu has simply misunderstood my relationship with Comrade Lin Jiqing. Perhaps I should have a proper talk with Han-yu to clear things up. Just as Father Sue was about to nod in agreement, Soo Han-yu's reaction grew even more intense. There's nothing to discuss. I will definitely get into college. And I will never marry you. As for you, marry whoever you want. Before anyone else could react, Soo Han-yu dashed straight toward home. A moment of willfulness was met with Father Sue's family discipline. With a creak, Sue's mother carefully pushed open the door, holding the freshly ground herbal juice, and approached Soo Han-yu's bed, gazing at the bruised and swollen marks on her arm. She felt a pang of heartache and said, Xiao Yu, what are you being stubborn about? You know why your father insists on you marrying Shenlin. He also sees that Shenlin is a good kid. Soo Han-yu lay on the bed, her voice hoarse as she said, he only thinks I'm bad because he sees Shenlin as too good. Sue's father and Shen's father grew up together, their bond as close as brothers. Later, they both encountered a flash flood. Sue's father narrowly survived by grabbing a tree trunk, while Shen's father lost both legs. Without Shen's father as a source of income, and with the expenses for leg treatment, the Shen family quickly exhausted their resources. Sue's father believed that his failure to hold on to Shen's father's hand had led to the Shen family's downfall. So he proactively proposed a marriage alliance between the two families. It was only after Sue's grandfather's dying plea that Sue's father agreed. As long as Soo Han-yu passed the college entrance exam, the marriage arrangement would be cancelled, and all support would be borne solely by Sue's father. In her previous life, she mistakenly believed she had failed the college entrance exam and had no choice but to marry Shenlin. But after marriage, she witnessed Shenlin and Lin Yu's endless entanglement. She cried, made scenes, and even considered divorce. Each time she broke down in pain, it was met with only a light, dismissive sentence from Sue's father. You failed the college entrance exam. That's your fate. The word fate weighed on Soo Han-yu her entire life. And it was only before her death that she realized her destiny should never have been this way. Heaven had given her a second chance, and she was determined to change the outcome of her previous life. Early the next morning, before her injuries had even begun to heal, Soo Han-yu hurried to the village post station. When Uncle Lee told her there was no mail for her, a flicker of disappointment crossed Soo Han-yu's face. She quickly took the pastries from her pocket and handed them to Uncle Lee, saying, Uncle Lee, please keep an eye out for me. If there's any mail for me, please don't give it to anyone but me. Okay. Although Uncle Lee didn't understand why, he nodded and agreed. Soo Han-yu remembered that the admission notice should be issued soon. She wasn't sure how Shenlin had intercepted her admission notice in her previous life, so she could only take extra precautions to prevent the events of the past from happening again. Having resolved this major concern, Soo Han-yu had just breathed a sigh of relief when, upon turning around, she bumped into Shenlin standing not far away, watching her. Han-yu, what are you doing here at Uncle Lee's place? Soo Han-yu turned her head away, sarcastically saying, what I do has nothing to do with you. With that kind of free time, you'd better focus more on whether Lin Yu can finish her work. Otherwise, if we don't finish it, we'll get reported and criticized again. You'd feel bad about that, wouldn't you? Shenlin's expression turned cold, and he directly rebuked Soo Han-yu. Many times I've told you, Han-yu, Lin Yu's father once saved my life. I'm just repaying the favor. Why can't you understand me? My relationship with her is completely innocent. There's absolutely nothing improper between us. When the time comes, I will definitely marry you. Soo Han-yu had heard such high-sounding words countless times. In her previous life, the first half was bound by the debt of gratitude to her father, Soo, forcing her to marry as arranged. The latter half was shackled by the debt to Shenlin, enduring Lin Yu's bullying and humiliation until she was literally angered to death. But why should she? Soo Han-yu stared into Shenlin's eyes and said, what? Do I owe Lin Yu's father a life? Gratitude isn't something I receive, but when it's time to repay, they all suddenly remember me. Shenlin, stop saying such unlucky things about you marrying me. I can get into college. As for you and Lin Yu, do whatever you want. After saying those words, Soo Han-yu turned and left without looking back. Shenlin watched Soo Han-yu's receding figure, a strange and inexplicable feeling flickering through his heart. The village wasn't large, and with Soo Han-yu's attitude changing so drastically, the news quickly spread throughout the entire village. Everyone knew that the Soo family's daughter now detested that Shen boy with a passion. At the same time, the relationship between Lin Yu and Shenlin also became a topic of discussion. The villagers didn't particularly like or dislike the educated youth, but Lin Yu always avoided work and even pushed tasks onto me, which inevitably left a bad impression on everyone. Now, with rumors of her entanglement with someone already engaged, whispers about Lin Yu quietly began to spread. Despite Lin Yu's repeated explanations, Shenlin's special treatment of her was obvious to everyone, making it hard for them to believe her. Soo Han-yu paid no attention to these matters. As the day for the admission notice drew closer, she had to be extra vigilant. Little did she expect that the first to find her wouldn't be Shenlin, but Lin Yu. Soo Han-yu, I have something to tell you. Seeing Lin Yu's troubled expression, Soo Han-yu scoffed. Why isn't Shenlin coming to see me anymore? Would he really abandon the daughter of his own savior like this, having spent decades together in her past life? Soo Han-yu naturally knew exactly what kind of person Lin Yu was. She was adept at playing the innocent and hiding behind others to manipulate them into achieving her own goals. Because of this, in her past life, Soo Han-yu had been targeted and ridiculed countless times. Though she clearly knew it was Lin Yu's doing, she could rarely find evidence. On the contrary, Shenlin, who would rush over upon hearing the commotion, would often end up scolding her instead. This was the first time Lin Yu had appeared in front of her on her own initiative. Hearing Soo Han-yu's words, Lin Yu's expression grew even more strained. Yet she still forced herself to speak. Me and Brother Shen are innocent. Can you go help us clarify that it was you and Brother Shen who were having a quarrel? Seeing Soo Han-yu remain unmoved, Lin Yu gritted her teeth and asked, Soo Han-yu, don't think throwing a little tantrum will make Brother Shen actually fall for you. If you keep making a fuss, you'll end up losing more than you gain. Soo Han-yu brushed the dust off her clothes and said disdainfully, lost. I'd be more than happy to have Shenlin stay far away from me. Unexpectedly, Lin Yu gave a strange smile upon hearing this and spoke. Is that so? The next moment, she lunged directly at Soo Han-yu. Instinctively, Soo Han-yu dodged. But unexpectedly, Lin Yu stumbled and tumbled straight down the nearby dirt slope. Ah! Xiao Yu! A cry of alarm came from nearby. Soo Han-yu turned toward the sound and met Shenlin's furious gaze. Shenlin had originally intended to have a good talk with Soo Han-yu, but he arrived to find Soo Han-yu pushing Lin Yu down. He had thought that Soo Han-yu truly didn't care about him, which is why she said those words. But in reality, she was even more fanatically cruel. Before Soo Han-yu could speak, Shenlin hurried down and scooped Lin Yu into his arms. Soo Han-yu was just about to explain when Shenlin, holding Lin Yu, pushed her aside without a word. Have you had enough of this nonsense? Soo Han-yu, this is our matter. Why are you dragging Xiaoya into it? With an inexplicable accusation thrown at her, Soo Han-yu's expression darkened. Shenlin, I didn't push her. She fell on her own. I don't want to hear your explanation right now. Shenlin cut off Soo Han-yu's words directly, staring at her warily. But if anything happens to Xiaoya, I won't let you off. After saying this, Shenlin hurried away, holding Lin Yu in his arms, leaving Soo Han-yu alone, fuming in place. But before the irritation could last long, Soo Han-yu suddenly remembered she had an important matter to attend to, and hurried off to the small grove on the other side. When she saw a middle-aged man lying on the ground beside a secluded thicket, Soo Han-yu finally breathed a sigh of relief. In her previous life, while working, she had accidentally saved a middle-aged man who had collapsed here. She had thought it was just a small act of kindness, but she never expected that this man was Song Weihai, a figure of great importance in the military. Shenlin's subsequent promotions were largely thanks to Song Weihai. This time, she saved Song Weihai not only because she didn't want such a courageous soldier to die unexpectedly but also to prevent Shenlin from having such smooth promotions in the future. Thinking of this, Soo Han-yu applied some first-aid measures to him as she had in her previous life. Soon, the man slowly regained consciousness and was extremely grateful upon learning that Soo Han-yu had saved him. Little girl, since it was you who saved me, if there's anything you need help with, don't hesitate to ask. What's your name? Soo Han-yu was taken aback for a moment before smiling in response. Soo Han-yu, but there's no need for thanks, it was just a small effort on my part. After leaving these words, Soo Han-yu turned and walked away without hesitation. She was confident that Song Weihai's capabilities would inevitably lead him to investigate Shenlin. By then, if Shenlin still hoped to proceed as smoothly as in their past life, it would be nothing more than a pipe dream. With a major concern now resolved, Soo Han-yu continued on her way to the courier station as usual. Upon learning that there was a letter for her, Soo Han-yu was even more excited. Really, Uncle Lee, what about my things? She had thought she could get them immediately, but unexpectedly, Uncle Lee spoke up directly. Didn't your dad take the things? Hearing this, Soo Han-yu felt inexplicably uneasy. She hurried back home, only to push open the door and unexpectedly find the Shen family all gathered inside. Soo Han-yu stood frozen in place, frowning as she spoke. Why are you here? Soo's father took a deep drag from his pipe, his face stern as he spoke. Why? Of course. To discuss your marriage with Xiaolin. Upon hearing the word marriage, Soo Han-yu's mind went blank for a moment before she rushed to her father in a frenzy. No. I clearly fulfilled our agreement by getting into university. How can you still force me to marry Shenlin? Dad. Uncle Lee said you took my letters, give them back to me. That's my admission notice. Father Soo pushed Soo Han-yu away with a stern and displeased expression. Without that thing, you'd better marry Shenlin properly. Soo Han-yu froze for a moment, an absurd conjecture surfacing in her mind as she asked with trembling voice. Dad, what do you mean by, without that thing? That's my acceptance letter. It's my stuff. You promised Grandpa that as long as I got into college, you wouldn't force me to marry Shenlin. University. University. Soo's father suddenly stood up abruptly. I think you've read too much and gone out of your mind. What's so great about college? Girls will still end up getting married anyway. Shaolin is doing well in the military now, and his future prospects are limitless. Talking about who forced you to get married. But why did you push Lin Jiqing down the hillside out of resentment? Do you not realize this is a matter of life and death? It could land you in jail. Soo Han-yu felt as if all the blood in her body was boiling. She slowly turned her head, fixing her gaze on Shenlin, who had remained silent all this while. So, Shenlin, it was your doing, wasn't it? You framed me and forced me to marry you. So who did the admission letter go to? Are you preparing this for your dear sister Lin Yu, so she can take my place at university? Shen Lin's anger flared even more upon hearing this. It was clearly Su Hanyu who had done wrong. And he had gone to negotiate terms out of kindness to prevent her from going to jail. Yet, Su Hanyu still had the audacity to maliciously frame Lin Yu like this. At this thought, Shen Lin's expression darkened as he rebuked sharply. Su Hanyu, how many times do I have to tell you? I'm completely innocent with Lin Yu. Stop spreading rumors here. You pushed Ye down the slope, and this is the compensation you owe her. Can't you let someone else have the chance instead of going to college? I'm willing to marry you. What more do you want? Almost as soon as the words were spoken, Su Hanyu raised her hand and slapped Shen Lin. Who asked you to marry me? Su Hanyu trembled all over. Her gaze filled with hatred as she looked at Shen Lin. I can go to university, have a brand new life, and a perfect future. What gives you the right to decide for me? No one present expected Su Hanyu to suddenly take action. Even Shen Lin, who had always prided himself on understanding Su Hanyu, was uncharacteristically left speechless, staring blankly into the gaze of hatred from Su Hanyu. This was the first time Shen Lin realized that the look Su Hanyu gave him no longer held the joy of the past, but instead carried a trace of resentment. But the moment the thought surfaced, Shen Lin dismissed it outright. How could that be? Hanyu could never resent him. Shen's mother was the first to react, rushing forward to check Shen Lin's face, then screaming, "Is this the fine daughter your Su family has raised? Don't forget it was you who caused my old Shen to lose his legs. And you were the one who proposed this marriage. Now my son, who was perfectly fine, has been beaten by your daughter. Is she trying to defy the heavens in the future?" Before Mr. Su could speak, Su Hanyu cut in first. "Yes, so you'd better advise your son not to marry me. Otherwise, he ruins my college chances. And the Shen family won't have an easy time either. Let's see who can outlast whom." Shen's mother, furious, rushed forward to attack Su Hanyu. But Shen Lin stepped directly in front of her mother, his expression restrained as he said, "Mom, this is between me and Hanyu. Stay out of it. Moreover, I will definitely marry Hanyu." Shen Lin's firm attitude left Shen's mother speechless for a moment, while Su's father spoke up directly. "Su Hanyu, did all your education go to the dogs? Xiao Lin is so good to you. What are you even fussing about? I'm asking you one more time. Are you going to marry or not?" "No." Su Hanyu wiped away her tears and addressed everyone in the room. "I must go to college. Even if I die, I will never marry Shen Lin." Father Su was even more infuriated by these words and immediately stepped forward to grab Su Hanyu. His hand, like a vice, gripped Su Hanyu painfully. She struggled desperately but was still forcibly pushed into the room. Bang! A loud sound. The door was shut. Su Hanyu instinctively rushed to the door, trying to open it, only to find it locked from the outside. No matter how hard she struggled, the door remained unmoved. "Dad, what are you doing? Let me out. I don't want to get married. I want to study." The crisp sound of keys clashing rang out as Father Su spoke heavily. "This matter is not up to you. Only when you've thought it through can we discuss leaving this room." Su Hanyu hadn't expected Father Su to be so resolute. She pounded on the door forcefully, continuously pleading with him to let her out. Not receiving a response from Su's father for a long time, Su Hanyu bit her lip and said, "Shen Lin, hurry up and tell my dad to let me out. I will not marry you. If you force me, don't blame me for taking you down with me." The resolute words shocked everyone outside the door. Shen's mother scolded Su Hanyu, but unexpectedly, Shen Lin, who had always been vague about the marriage, took an unusually firm stance this time. "This marriage will happen, whether you like it or not. That admission letter is what you owe Yeye. When Yeye goes off to college, I'll naturally persuade Uncle Su to let you out." After leaving these words, Shen Lin took a deep look at the tightly shut door, suppressing his unease as he led Mrs. Shen away from the Su residence. Su Hanyu refused to accept her fate. She cursed Shen Lin like a madwoman, But even as silence returned outside the door, no one paid her any attention. After shouting for so long, Soo Han-yu collapsed weakly to her knees on the floor. Memories of her past life flooded her mind. She had worked so hard, exhausting all her efforts to change the tragic ending of her previous life. Yet, she never expected that those who would hurt her the deepest would be her closest family. In this life, her college admission letter was taken by her father, Soo. But what about in her past life? Did her biological parents truly not know that Lin Yu's admission letter was originally hers? Or perhaps it was originally given by them. After all, since the engagement was set, their greatest hope has been for Soo Han-yu to marry Shenlin. In this life, even though she gave Shenlin and Lin Yu so many chances to be together, Shenlin still chose to tie her down without hesitation for Lin Yu's sake. Sacrificing his own future, powerlessness and hatred filled her heart. Soo Han-yu was consumed by resentment. Yet she found herself lost in confusion. This time, Soo's father was determined to teach Soo Han-yu a lesson. For 3 consecutive days, he locked her in her room, giving her neither food nor water, leaving her starved for a full 3 days and 3 nights. It wasn't until the 4th night that Soo Han-yu, weak and lying in bed, heard a long-absent sound at the door. Her mother walked in carrying a bowl of rice and soup, her heart aching as she looked at Soo Han-yu. Han-yu, just apologize to your father. Why must you be so stubborn? Soo Han-yu grabbed her mother's hand, pleading, Mom, I don't want to get married. I want to study, please. Go and talk to Dad. Okay, he wants to repay the kindness. I can work and earn money for the Shen family in the future. But don't give my admission letter to anyone else. Soo's mother gently pushed away Soo Han-yu's hand, avoiding her gaze as she spoke. Your father has already given the admission letter to Lin Jiqing. Say it's compensation for you pushing Lin Jiqing. And now the whole village knows your father accepted the dowry money from the Shen family. If you don't marry into their family, your father will be ridiculed behind his back. Soo Han-yu stood frozen, her lips trembling as she asked, Mom, are you and Dad forcing me? You knew I wouldn't stand by and let you be blamed by everyone. So you took the initiative, accepted the dowry, and spread the news, forcing me to marry Shenlin. Why? Am I not your biological daughter? Why are you forcing me like this for a stranger? Are you really going to force me to death before you're satisfied? Hearing this, Soo's mother hurriedly grabbed Soo Han-yu's hand, speaking anxiously, Han-yu, how could your parents want to force you to death? Your father is right after all. A girl must get married someday. Shenlin is a good child. He won't treat you poorly. Trust your parents this once. Okay, won't treat poorly. In her past life, Shenlin indeed couldn't be considered to have treated her poorly, never withheld the respect she deserved, which led her to doubt him and Lin Yu countless times, only to later think she was overthinking things. But her parents never realized that the hardships and storms Shenlin had shielded her from were ones she never should have had to endure. However, clearly, Soo Han-yu couldn't bring herself to speak of these things. Seeing that Soo Han-yu remained silent, Soo's mother continued, Besides, after you said such harsh words that day, even Shen's aunt wouldn't let Shenlin marry you. Even the 2 children from the Shen family were crying and making a fuss, unwilling to let you in. It was Shenlin who stopped everyone, saying he would only marry you in this life. Han-yu, Shenlin truly has a sincere heart for you. You should cherish him. Holding on to the last faint hope, Soo Han-yu asked, Mom, have you ever thought about how much the Shen family dislikes me? Will I really have a good life if I marry into that family? Do you and Dad really have to push me like this? Soo's mother froze for a moment, then placed her hand on Soo Han-yu's hand and said, There will be. Back then, Mother wasn't welcomed either, but she still managed to get through all these years just fine. Han-yu, things will get better. The faint flicker of firelight finally extinguished, and Soo Han-yu felt as if her entire soul had been drained from her body. She heard herself bowing her head and softly agreeing, Whatever you and Dad say. Hearing this, Soo's mother's face immediately lit up with joy, and she kept saying, Good, good, good. I'm going to tell your dad right now. Let him release you, so you can properly prepare for your wedding. just as she was about to leave the room. Sue's mother hesitated and turned back to say, "Han-yu, are you really willing to marry Shenlin and not go to college?" Su Han-yu didn't speak, just silently ate the food that was brought to her. At first, Sue's father couldn't believe his daughter had agreed so readily. But seeing Su Han-yu's obedient expression, he still trusted her. "How many times have I said it? What's the use of a girl reading so many books? Marry well, and Shenlin won't treat you poorly." Perhaps because Su Han-yu was obedient. Even the usually strict father Su showed a rare hint of a good mood. But Su Han-yu knew better than anyone that this was all an illusion. It was unclear what Father Su had told the other villagers. But their gazes on her grew increasingly intense. Even when she occasionally went near the ox cart, she would be hurriedly shooed away. "Your dad said we absolutely cannot take you with us. Otherwise, if something happens to you, he'll have to come find us. The village is far from the town, and people usually go out by ox carts from the village." Su's father was clearly determined to have Su Han-yu marry Shenlin, even taking precautions in advance against her trying to escape. Su Han-yu had just turned around, but unexpectedly, Lin Yu blocked her path. "Why are you running away like a lost dog? So shamefully." Su Han-yu turned back and stared at Lin Yu, saying, "The world has truly changed. Thieves can now openly appear on this main road. Lin Yu, do you think everything is settled just because you took my admission letter?" Lin Yu's expression changed slightly, but she still said unwillingly, "Su Han-yu, do you think your words can scare me? I'm telling you. Brother Shen has promised me that he will keep a close eye on you. Do you think he married you for any reason other than to keep a closer watch on you? You can't leave the village. And I have your admission letter in my hands. You might as well just sit back and watch me attend this university." Such arrogant words sounded more like bluster to Su Han-yu. "So why are you coming to me now to show off? Could it be that Shenlin took my admission letter and gave it to you, but also made some demands of you? You feel that Shenlin is getting out of control, so you rush to me to sow discord. That's right. After all, in the future, Shenlin and I will be husband and wife. Who knows? One day when the wind blows by your pillow, he might get carried away and report you." Lin Yu's face changed dramatically, and the look in her eyes as she gazed at Su Han-yu was now filled with resentment. "Brother Shen would never do that. He promised to take care of me for life. He married you just to keep an eye on you." I let out a mocking laugh, sarcastically saying, "Then what are you so anxious about?" Lin Yu was speechless, and in a fit of anger, she simply ran away. Su Han-yu stood where she was, closing her eyes and saying, "Since you're already here, why are you trying to hide?" Shenlin stepped out from behind a nearby tree, looking at Su Han-yu solemnly. "You shouldn't have said those things to Ye. I won't let you stand in the way of her going to college. But I promise, after we get married, you won't have to suffer in any way." Shenlin couldn't understand why Su Han-yu, who had always trusted him, was now making such a fuss over Lin Yu and had been angry with him for so long. Su Han-yu was growing impatient. "Shenlin, have you finished pretending? As long as you're not around, I won't suffer any grievances." Gazing at Su Han-yu's cold expression, Shenlin couldn't help but clench his hands, and words long buried in his heart burst out. "Are you really so unwilling to marry me?" Su Han-yu thought she might have gone mad from being locked up, for she actually detected a hint of grievance in his words. She gave a sarcastic smile and looked at Shenlin. "What's the point of being willing or not? Even if I were unwilling, would you go and tell my father not to marry?" It was a question she had intended to ask, yet the moment she truly heard it, Shenlin couldn't help but regret why she had brought it up. Suppressing the unease in her heart, Shenlin stepped forward, wanting to grab Su Han-yu's hand, but she dodged away. "Not married yet? Don't be so familiar, your reputation will be ruined." The bitterness in her heart grew stronger, and Shenlin couldn't help but ask aloud, "Su Han-yu, what's wrong with you? Why are you suddenly treating me like this? Didn't you like me?" Su Han-yu looked up at Shenlin, her voice tinged with impatience. "So what? Can't you stop liking me just because you liked me? Or do I have to be your obedient lackey, a slave at your beck and call? Wake up." There are no slaves in New China. You were the one who wanted to get married. So don't bring up all this nonsense now. Unhappy? Then call off the engagement. Shenlin didn't know what to say for a moment, and could only keep comforting himself that everything would be better after marriage. If you still mind about me and Lin Yu, I will prove to you after marriage that there is nothing between me and her. No need. Su Hanyu said coldly. I don't care. You can be with whoever you want. Shenlin looked at Su Hanyu's distant demeanor, and an inexplicable panic surged in his heart. He was naturally aware that Su Hanyu liked him. Otherwise, she wouldn't have agreed to his requests time and again. It was just that Su Hanyu's sudden change made him realize that, compared to studying, that affection was so fragile. He rarely felt a hint of unwillingness. And even the marriage he once disliked now made him feel a sense of relief. The outside world is not so easy to navigate. He would strive to provide Su Hanyu with a good life. So giving that admission letter to Lin Yu was the best choice. The wedding was originally scheduled for a month later, but unexpectedly, Shenlin had military matters to attend to and needed to return to the army early, before the marriage application was approved. The two families discussed holding the wedding first. The wedding preparations didn't concern Su Hanyu much, but Shenlin was oddly serious about it, insisting on dragging Su Hanyu to choose every single item. The villagers watched and couldn't help but sigh, marveling that Su Hanyu had married a good man. But Su Hanyu seemed tired of hearing such comments and finally spoke up. Can you give me some personal space? I'm not going to run away. Shenlin stood frozen in place for a while before suppressing the bitterness in his heart and speaking. From your perspective, did I take you to see the things we arranged for our new marriage just to keep an eye on you? Otherwise, what? Su Hanyu stared at Shenlin with disgust. Are you going to say you really want to marry me and live a life together? Shenlin, it's just the two of us now, so stop pretending and deceiving people here. An indescribable pain spread from the heart. She had only wanted more time together. But after hearing Su Hanyu's words, Shenlin released his tightly clenched hand and said stubbornly, You're right, I am just putting on a show. But even if it's just a show, you have to stay with me for a lifetime. Su Hanyu, don't even think about running away. After leaving these words, Shenlin hurried away like a deserter. Since that day, Shenlin had not seen Su Hanyu for several days in a row. It wasn't until the day of the wedding, when Su Hanyu put on her new clothes and opened the door, that she ran into Shenlin, who had come to fetch the bride. Seeing the newlyweds not speaking, the villagers thought they were shy and tried to ease the tension by cracking jokes, bowing, serving tea. After the ceremony, everyone took their seats, raising their glasses to offer congratulations. Su Hanyu also wore a rare smile, standing beside Shenlin and continuously pouring him wine. Su's father also drank too much, grabbing Shenlin's shoulder and giving him instructions. I only have this one daughter, son-in-law. You must take good care of her. Shenlin, half drunk, nodded, perhaps due to the alcohol. His gaze toward Su Hanyu even carried a hint of bewitching affection. But the next moment, the words he uttered shattered the illusion. Dad. Don't worry. As long as Hanyu doesn't target Yeye, I'll treat her well. No one thought otherwise. And instead, Su's father even shouted for Su Hanyu to eat less jealousy. Su Hanyu nodded without argue back, simply continuing to pour wine for them. In the middle of the night, many people returned home drunk. Su's mother took the drunken Su's father back, while Su Hanyu helped the intoxicated Shenlin to his room, not forgetting to shoo away Shen's mother and others who wanted to attend to him. The smell of alcohol was overwhelming. Just as Su Hanyu was about to leave, Shenlin reached out and pulled her directly into his embrace. Hanyu, where are you going? Seeing that she couldn't break free, Su Hanyu spoke as if deflated. I'm going to get you a hot towel and bring you a glass of water. You're already married. What else do you want to do? Just as Su Hanyu was about to forcibly pull away Shenlin's hand, she suddenly heard him ask, Yes. Married. It's good that you're married. Hanyu, do you like me? The anticipation in the words left Su Hanyu silent for a long while before she finally spoke. Like it. The two light words instantly calmed Shenlin. He let go of his hand, closed his eyes tightly, yet still whispered softly, urging Su Hanyu to be careful. Su Hanyu stood by the bedside, waiting for the sound to fade before she began to speak. But that was in a past life. Shenlin, let's never see each other again in this life. She wiped her hand where Shenlin had touched it, then turned and left without hesitation. The village at night was utterly silent, with the incessant chirping of insects, as terrifying and urgent as the impermanence of life urging one on. She ran until her whole body was drenched in sweat, and even the slightest rustle of wind or grass could make her hold her breath in fear. The cold wind howled into her neck, bringing with it a sharp, tearing pain in her chest. Finally, Su Hanyu reached the pile of grass beside the Su family's residence, where she found the bundle she had hidden for a long time. The moment she saw the bundle, Su Hanyu breathed a sigh of relief. Just as she slung it over her shoulder and prepared to leave, a voice suddenly sounded from behind her. Hanyu. Su Hanyu turned her stiff body around, facing her mother whose eyes were red. Mom. The mother and daughter stared at each other for a long time, until finally, Su Hanyu was the first to put down her baggage, closing her eyes as she spoke. Even if you have someone drag me back this time, next time, the time after that, no matter how long you lock me up or starve me, I will never give up on escaping. My life shouldn't be confined here. I should go out and see the wider world, to realize my own worth. Dad always says getting married is my fate, but I refuse to accept that. Su Hanyu didn't expect Mother Su to spare her. She understood better than anyone how weak Mother Su's character was, and how terrified she was of defying Father Su's orders. She doesn't blame her mother, only hates herself for not being thorough enough. Suddenly, a heavy weight pressed down on his shoulder. Su Hanyu looked up and met her mother's tear-filled gaze, only to find that her mother had placed the bundle she had just set down back onto Su Hanyu's shoulder. Mom didn't read much, unlike you and your father, and doesn't understand things like fate. But after listening to your father's words for so many years, it's time to hear something else. Today is just my daughter getting married. I'm just taking a casual walk around. Su Hanyu's heart gave a sudden jolt, instinctively gripping her mother's hand. Mom. Su's mother grabbed Su Hanyu's hand with her other hand and gently asked, have you arranged everything? The admission notice. Before Mrs. Su could ask more questions, Su Hanyu nodded. Everything is arranged. Mom, don't worry. Once I handle everything, I will definitely come back to pick you up. She wanted to spend a little more time with Mrs. Su, but Mrs. Su pushed her away. All right, it's getting late. Hurry up and go. If we stay any longer, the Shen family might find out. Su Hanyu also understood this, holding back her tears as she gave her mother one last embrace, then turned away with a heavy heart, running down the side path without looking back. She ran for a long time before finally stopping when she saw a small car. The car door opened, revealing a handsome young face. Seeing Su Hanyu frozen in place, Song Jincheng stepped aside and spoke. Miss Su, my name is Song Jincheng. Song Weihai is my father. Don't worry, my dad has already given me all the instructions. I'll make sure you get out safely. Song Jincheng. That name Su Hanyu remembered Shen Lin's sworn enemy in the military, constantly at odds with Shen Lin. But Su Hanyu remembered clearly that when she and Lin Yu were kidnapped together, Shen Lin had chosen Lin Yu and abandoned her, while it was Song Jincheng who risked his life to save her. In her previous life, everyone said she was lucky to have married Shen Lin, living a life of comfort and wealth for the rest of her days. Only Song Jincheng heard this and mocked Shen Lin for not appreciating the good fortune he had. Su Hanyu never expected that in this lifetime she would meet Song Jincheng so much earlier. Comrade Song. Sorry to trouble you. Song Jincheng was only in his 20s at the time, and upon hearing this, he showed a hint of embarrassment. It's fine. You saved my father, so you're my benefactor. This is your train ticket heading north. And regarding the school, I've already sent someone to inform them. That admission notice has been invalidated. When you arrive at the school, someone will take you to register. Is there anything else I can do? Just say it. Su Hanyu stared at the ticket to Yuching in his hand, pondering for a long time before summoning his courage. There's actually one thing I'd like to trouble you with. The car sped forward, heading into the faint morning light, traveling alongside the rising sun. As the first light of dawn broke, a slightly damp, chilly breeze streamed in through the window, causing the character for double happiness behind the door to flutter noisily. The faint, scattered noises, accompanied by the cold, gradually roused Shenlin from his drunken slumber. He instinctively reached for the space beside him, only to find it cold and empty. Almost instantly, his chaotic consciousness cleared in a flash, and he sat up with a sudden jolt. The throbbing pain from the hangover made Shenlin instinctively press a hand to his forehead. He squinted toward the Betsadino water glass. No basin. Everything in the room was as usual, if not for the double happiness character on the wall behind the door and the new clothes he was wearing. He might have thought yesterday's wedding was just an illusion, but it wasn't a dream. Where was Su Hanyu? An inexplicable sense of panic surged in his heart. Ignoring his headache, Shenlin forced himself to get up and open the door. He searched everywhere: the hall, the kitchen, the guest rooms, and even the surrounding area, but no matter how hard he looked, he couldn't find Su Hanyu's figure. Shen's mother, who had just gotten up, saw Shenlin's hurried state and asked curiously, "Shaolin, what are you looking for?" Shenlin instinctively looked towards his mother, then quickly strode over to her and asked, "Mom, have you seen Hanyu?" Shen's mother pursed her lips and replied impatiently, "How could I possibly have seen her? Who knows? Maybe she knows the new daughter-in-law should show filial respect to her mother-in-law and prepared breakfast early. In my opinion, women still need to be properly disciplined." Before Mother Shen could finish speaking, Shenlin went back into the house and woke up Shen Hui and Shen Xian, who were still sleeping. "Xiao Hui, Xiao Xian, have you seen your sister-in-law?" The two children exchanged a glance and shook their heads in unison, while Mrs. Shen, who had followed them inside, also sensed something unusual. "Shaolin, what do you mean by that? Isn't Su Hanyu with you? Could she have run away?" "Mom!" Shenlin suddenly shouted, his gaze dark as he looked at Shen's mother. "Hanyu won't run away. Maybe I was drunk yesterday and neglected her, so she went back to the Su family in a fit of anger. I'll go find her right now." Even so, the empty void in Shenlin's heart inexplicably grew a little larger. He and Su Hanyu had grown up together since childhood, and he believed he understood her best. Su Hanyu cherished old friendships deeply and was unwilling to worry others. She would never simply disappear without a word. But when Shenlin hurriedly arrived at the Su family to apologize to Su's father, he was met with a bewildered gaze. "Shaolin, what do you mean by that? Why are you suddenly saying sorry to me?" Shenlin stood frozen in place, unable to help but ask aloud, "Dad, hasn't Hanyu come back yet?" Bang! A loud crash echoed from behind, and Su's mother dropped the basin in her hand to the ground, then immediately rushed to Shenlin's front, demanding an answer. "Shaolin, what do you mean by that? Why did Hanyu come back? Wasn't she supposed to be at your Shen family? Or did you do something to drive Hanyu away?" Hearing this, Father Su immediately became agitated. "Shenlin, quickly tell us what exactly happened." Soon, the news of Su Hanyu's disappearance spread throughout the entire village. The villagers all pitched in to search for Su Hanyu's whereabouts. But after combing through the entire village, not a single clue about her could be found. Her clothes, daily necessities, even the admission letter that had been taken were all still there. Yet Su Hanyu seemed to have vanished into thin air without a trace. "Got married yesterday, and today the person is gone." Mrs. Shen was naturally unwilling and demanded an explanation from Mr. Su. But Mr. Su, who had always tolerated Mrs. Shen repeatedly, also lost his usual composure at this moment. Convinced that the Shen family had done something to cause the usually obedient and well-behaved Su Hanyu to disappear without reason, the two families argued endlessly, but Shenlin, caught in the middle, had no intention of mediating at all. The village was remote, and it was impossible to tell how long it would take to walk out on foot. The only means of transportation was an ox cart. fearing that Su Hanyu might have met with misfortune. He searched meticulously everywhere and finally discovered the tracks of a small cart on a narrow path. The tracks led toward the train station, and Shenlin, leveraging his military connections, pleaded everywhere for any trace of Su Hanyu. Without a photograph, Shenlin could only rely on verbal descriptions, spending 7 consecutive days at the station, inquiring everywhere. Finally, on the 8th day, a homeless man staying near the station told Shenlin, "The girl you mentioned is quite pretty, with a mole at the corner of her eye. 8 days ago, early in the morning, I got on the train with a young man. They looked like a loving young couple." Before the homeless man could finish speaking, Shenlin angrily said, "What nonsense are you talking about? Hanyu would never leave with someone else. Stop slandering her here. If I hear you say that again, watch out, I'll break your legs." After saying this, Shenlin fled in a panic, until Shenlin locked himself in his room. The words the homeless man had said as he left still echoed in his mind. "Son, a twisted melon isn't sweet. The girl already has someone in her heart. She'd rather run away just to avoid you. Why are you still clinging to her?" Shenlin wanted to explain that he wasn't clinging back then. It was Su Hanyu who had fallen for him first. On the day of the wedding, Su Hanyu showed no signs of abnormality. She obediently allowed herself to be dressed up, obediently followed behind him, poured wine for him like a considerate wife, and accepted everyone's congratulations together with him. But he forgot one thing: Su Hanyu was never one to be so docile. He was too overwhelmed with joy, and in his drunken state, when he heard Su Hanyu offer to fetch water for him, he naively believed they could make it work. Shenlin thought Su Hanyu had come to her senses, and the joy he felt then was matched only by the fury he felt now upon learning the truth. Angry at Su Hanyu for why she changed her mind, angry at herself for being fooled by such clumsy acting, he wanted to find Su Hanyu and confront her, asking why she didn't want to marry him and why she wouldn't just speak frankly about it. But then he suddenly remembered. Su Hanyu had said it more than once, but he always thought it was just jealous words spoken in anger. Everything would be fine once they got married. Shenlin never expected that Su Hanyu would choose to run away from the wedding. He lay in bed, feeling the dull ache return at his temples. A jumble of thoughts kept Shenlin restless. He closed his eyes, forcing himself to fall asleep. For 3 consecutive days, Shenlin neither ate nor drank, locking himself inside his room. The Shen family was deeply worried. But no matter how much they knocked and pleaded, Shenlin refused to open the door. In utter desperation, Shen's mother had no choice but to call Lin Yu. Lin Yu had always hated being a backup option, but she had no one to rely on in the village. If Shenlin truly abandoned her, life would only become more difficult in the days to come. After some thought, Lin Yu still followed her mother. She had deliberately dressed up carefully today, and the sound of her knocking at the door carried a hint of pitifulness. "Brother Shen. It's Yeye. I know you're worried about Su Hanyu, but you can't just lock yourself away and refuse to eat. Can you open the door, please?" Lin Yu waited for a long time, but Shenlin showed no response. Noticing the reproachful look from Shen's mother, Lin Yu couldn't help biting her lips, her resentment towards Su Hanyu deepening even further. It was all Su Hanyu's fault. If she hadn't caused such a scene, Lin Yu wouldn't have been cold-shouldered by Shenlin. Nor would the villagers suspect her of wrongdoing. Seeing that Shenlin truly had no intention of paying her any attention, Lin Yu took a deep breath and said, "Brother Shen, it's time to report to the university. I'm a bit scared being alone. Can you take me there?" As soon as the topic of college was mentioned, the door suddenly swung open. With dark circles under his eyes, Shenlin stared at Lin Yu for a long time before finally speaking. "All right." Hearing Shenlin's agreement, Lin Yu was overjoyed and immediately grabbed Shenlin's arm, exclaiming happily, "Really, Brother Shen, you're so good." Looking at the hand clutching his arm, Shenlin felt, for the first time, a slight annoyance. He couldn't help but uncontrollably recall the village rumors, wondering if Su Hanyu wouldn't have fled if it weren't for Lin Yu. But soon he suppressed this thought deep in his heart. Lin Yu was the daughter of his savior. It was Soo Han-yu who shouldn't have made such a fuss. It had nothing to do with Lin-yu. Besides, Soo Han-yu might even be at the university too. Clang! Clang! Clang's sound of a train whistle startled Soo Han-yu awake from her sleep. She glanced at the desolate view outside the window and clutched the bundle in her arms tighter. The 3-day, 3-night train ride had been unbearable, and with it being her first time traveling far from home, her nerves remained tightly wound and unable to relax. That day when they fled the village, Song Jincheng had intended to send her directly to the university registration office. But Soo Han-yu suddenly changed her mind. Although Yucheng University is good, it's not the university she truly wanted to attend. Moreover, she left in such a hurry that she only brought a few personal items and her identification documents, leaving her with very little money and no means to cover her tuition or living expenses. The Song father and son have already helped her so much. Any more would make her feel undeserving. Moreover, whether it's the Soo parents or Shenlin, they all know she was admitted to Yucheng University. When the time comes to look for her in Yucheng, even if she could hide temporarily, she couldn't hide forever. By then, there might not be a second Song Jincheng to rescue her. Most importantly, according to her memories from her past life, the era of reform and opening up was coming soon. Rather than going north for studies, she might as well try going south first to test the waters of business, while also preparing again for the college entrance exams to get into her dream university. Soo Han-yu knew her decision was quite risky. In her past life, she mistakenly thought she had failed the exams and ended up marrying Shenlin, managing all household affairs. Although she had her own ambitions and wanted to go out and make a name for herself, but Shenlin wouldn't allow it. Providing for the family is a man's responsibility. What does it have to do with a woman? Just stay home and take good care of mom and the others. Shen's mother was in poor health, and her younger siblings were still young, requiring care in every aspect. Soo Han-yu had no choice but to accept her fate and stay at home. She had planned to wait until Shen Hui and Shen Xian were older before going out, but she became pregnant again, and the child was too young to be separated from its mother. By the time her 2 children grew up, Shenlin had already been promoted and had established a position in the military. As a military family member, one must naturally be extra cautious in every aspect to avoid giving others any leverage. Thus, Soo Han-yu's desire to start her own career was once again shattered. For 40 years, everyone envied Soo Han-yu for living her entire life as a housewife well provided for, with a high-ranking husband and successful children. Yet, Soo Han-yu had felt countless moments of unwillingness. But under the pressure and scrutiny of everyone around her, she could only deceive herself into believing otherwise. What's so bad about that? Everyone has been through this. It wasn't until Shenlin's funeral, when despite being betrayed by her husband for years, everyone still blamed her instead, that Soo Han-yu finally realized how absurd her past sacrifices and self-deception had been. No one would care about an accessory that has lost its sense of self. In their eyes, she was the obedient and well-behaved daughter of her parents, the filial and humble daughter-in-law of Mrs. Shen, the lifelong wife of Shenlin, and the mother of Shen Tsong and Shen Yu. Everyone only remembers her prefixes, but they all forget her name is Soo Han-yu. She is Soo Han-yu, not someone's daughter or wife, and certainly not someone's mother. In this second chance at life, Soo Han-yu didn't want to leave any regrets in her life. Thinking of this, Soo Han-yu raised her hand and pressed it against her chest, telling herself, how much worse could it possibly get? The train came to a stop, and Soo Han-yu followed the crowd off the train, arriving in Nanchang. Unlike the prosperous and dazzling southern city in her memory, at this time, it was still just a somewhat dilapidated and gray little town. But in Soo Han-yu's eyes, this was her brand new beginning. To Soo Han-yu's surprise, as soon as she stepped out of the train station, she discovered that her bundle had a large hole, and along with it, all the money inside had vanished without a trace. She wanted to report it to the police but didn't know where the police station was. She asked passers-by, but in the undeveloped southern city, everyone spoke only the local dialect. Soo Han-yu couldn't understand them, nor could she make others understand her. During her inquiries, Su Hanyu nearly cried several times, but each time she forced herself to hold back. She patiently asked at every shop, finally finding one where someone understood Mandarin. The shop owner is called Granny Su. Her husband passed away early, and her children left home many years ago without any news. She makes a living by running a sewing shop. Granny Su has a loud voice, and her overly thin frame makes her appear somewhat fierce, causing others to avoid her. Upon learning that Su Hanyu had her money stolen and was looking for work, Granny Su stared at Su Hanyu for a long time before speaking in broken Mandarin. I'm too old to bend down. There's a room here that hasn't been cleaned for a while. Clean it up, and I'll pay you. Su Hanyu quickly agreed and followed Granny Su through the alley to a small attic. The room Granny Su mentioned was actually a storage space under the stairs. The moment the door opened, dust filled the air, and the small, broken window let in only a faint light. The room was cluttered with various odds and ends. After handing the room over to Su Hanyu, Granny Su left without another word. Su Hanyu looked at the place before her, bit her lip, rolled up her sleeves, and began to tidy up. Things were gradually moved out and cleaned, and Su Hanyu would also repair some damaged areas while she was at it. From morning until night, Su Hanyu didn't know how long she had been cleaning, but finally the entire room was spotless. After finishing everything, Su Hanyu collapsed onto the ground, pounding her hands and feet in exhaustion. But when she looked up, she found Granny Su standing at the door, seemingly having watched her for a long time. Su Hanyu quickly stood up. Granny Su, please see if I've tidied up properly. Granny Su glanced around, then suddenly turned her back and spoke. I need a helper here. Room and board provided but no salary. If you're willing, just say yes. Su Hanyu was stunned for a long time before she finally grasped Grandma Su's meaning. She was overjoyed and quickly thanked him. After having dinner with Grandma Su, Su Hanyu was finally able to return to her room and lie down. The air was still filled with a damp scent. Su Hanyu raised her hand to cover her eyes, the soreness in her limbs making her reluctant to move even slightly. On her first day in Nanchang, so many unexpected things had happened. Whether it was for better or worse, Su Hanyu couldn't quite tell. She lowered her hand. Yet through that narrow window, she saw a sky full of stars, shining even more brilliantly in the darkness. As she gazed, the aches in her body seemed to ease a little. She opened the window, closed her eyes, and let the cool breeze soothe her restlessness. It can't get any worse. Su Hanyu. With that thought, Su Hanyu fell into a deep sleep. Early the next morning, Su Hanyu got up and went to Grandma Su's sewing shop, sorting fabrics, greeting customers, and assisting with tasks. Soon, the neighbors nearby learned that a pretty young girl had come to work as an assistant at the peculiar sewing shop. Grandma Su was an excellent seamstress, but her peculiar personality caused many people to instinctively avoid her. Now that Su Hanyu was here, everyone tacitly chose to have Su Hanyu deliver the clothes and requests. Grandma Su saw everything and, stepping on the sewing machine, said sarcastically, "These people, they really seem to like you a lot." Su Hanyu put down the clothes in her hands and smiled at Granny Su, saying, "What's the use of liking me? Isn't it all thanks to your craftsmanship? Granny Su, look how beautifully this is done." Granny Su remained silent, so Su Hanyu coaxed and cajoled until finally, Granny Su pretended to be stern and said, "What are you still doing here? Go and get someone." Having stayed with Grandma Su for half a month, Su Hanyu had come to understand her tough-talking but soft-hearted nature, making their interactions much more natural. She even started deliberately learning the Nanchang dialect from Grandma Su. Meanwhile, Su Hanyu also took advantage of her free time to wander around, finally gaining a preliminary understanding of the southern city. But as for what kind of business to do, Su Hanyu couldn't think of anything for the time being, until one time when she was cleaning. She accidentally saw the scattered pieces of cloth, and suddenly an idea came to her mind. After learning that those scraps of fabric were useless, Su Hanyu gathered them up, recut and re-sewed them into a series of hair ribbons. Once everything was ready, Soo Han-yu took advantage of her break time to specifically go to places like the market to sell them. Those places with high foot traffic also sell headbands very well. Looking at the money in her hands, Soo Han-yu couldn't help but show a rare, genuine smile. Whether it was for education or business, the amount of money needed was substantial. The more money she earned, the more confident Soo Han-yu felt. Just as Soo Han-yu was enthusiastically preparing to make a big move, she saw her own missing person notice on a television by the market. Soo Han-yu, female, 19 years old. Soo Han-yu felt as if all the blood in her body had frozen in an instant. She had thought that if she ran away, no one except her parents would care. Yet this missing person notice was clearly Shenlin's doing. Soo Han-yu couldn't understand why, in this lifetime, Shenlin was so determined to cling to her and refuse to let her go. Could it be that he resents her for making Song Jincheng void that admission letter? For Lin Yu, does Shenlin hate herself this much? His chest felt as if a pot of oil were boiling, the pain and hatred washing over Soo Han-yu from head to toe. But she could do nothing, only hurriedly run to a deserted place, letting large tears stream down her cheeks. She cried for a long time, until the night fell. Before she finally managed to stop her tears, Soo Han-yu thought for a long time, and finally decided to sell hairbands at more remote intersections. But fewer passers-by meant fewer buyers. In the end, she often managed to sell only 1 or 2 hairbands a day. Soo Han-yu thought perhaps there was something wrong with her work, so she became even more diligent in studying the styles, and her sleep grew increasingly late. One day while selling hair ribbons, Soo Han-yu couldn't hold on any longer and leaned against the wall, falling asleep. But when footsteps approached, she instinctively woke up and said, "Hello, what would you like to buy?" At the moment she looked up, Soo Han-yu froze in place. It was Grandma Soo. She quickly stood up. And for the first time, the usually eloquent woman didn't know what to say. Grandma Soo didn't speak, just walked away to the other side. Soo Han-yu didn't dare to say much more. She quickly packed up her things and followed with her head lowered. But as they walked, she realized it wasn't the way home. Soo Han-yu felt a pang of panic. Just as she was about to ask, she saw Grandma Soo stop in her tracks. "Just put it down here." She looked up and found herself in a bustling market, though it wasn't as crowded as the market she had visited before. It was still much livelier than the street corners she usually stayed at. Soo Han-yu stared blankly at Grandma Soo and asked softly, "Grandma Soo, aren't you angry?" "Angry?" Grandma Soo turned her back on Soo Han-yu and snorted coldly. "Coming home so late every day. I can't find you anywhere. If you die out there one day, I wouldn't even know my hired worker is gone." Soo Han-yu's eyes welled up with tears, and she couldn't help but step forward to hug Grandma Soo tightly. Grandma Soo was stunned for a long moment before finally reaching out to return the embrace, saying to Soo Han-yu, "I saw that missing person notice. A young girl like you wouldn't have traveled so far alone unless she was truly pushed to her limits. From now on, you are my little granddaughter. As time goes by, no one will doubt you." Soo Han-yu nodded solemnly and hugged Grandma Soo tightly. Since that day, whenever customers came to the sewing shop, Grandma Soo would subtly mention Soo Han-yu's identity. The neighbors soon learned that the new young helper was actually Grandma Soo's granddaughter. As for before, people simply took it as Grandma Soo's peculiar temperament, a tantrum stemming from her anger over her son's long absence. And Grandma Soo also seemed to truly regard Soo Han-yu as her granddaughter, beginning to force her to learn her sewing and embroidery skills. Even though Soo Han-yu had considerable talent in this area, she started too late and naturally couldn't immediately meet Grandma Soo's expectations. Grandma Soo is strict and unrelenting in her scolding. The handkerchief was wet and then dry again. Soo Han-yu had lost count of how many times she had cried. For several months in a row, Soo Han-yu had to review her studies to prepare for the college entrance exam while also listening to Grandma Soo's scolding as she learned sewing and embroidery. She also had to find time to sell hairbands and the small accessories she made herself. She had no rest time at all, often falling asleep as soon as she touched the bed. The things that had once kept her awake late into the night seemed to be gradually fading away. Fortunately, As time went on, everything seemed to get better. The backlog was gradually made up. Grandma Sue's praises became more frequent. And the accessories I made even landed some big orders. Time flowed by like water. And the dream life seemed to be arriving day by day. In July 1982, during the graduation season, the cicadas were chirping incessantly. And the waves of heat in the air were almost unbearable. Soo Han-yu had just finished taking photos with her classmates when she ran into Song Jin-chang, who was supporting Grandma Sue. She quickly stepped forward, took the flowers from Song Jin-chang's hands, and scolded him. "It's so hot today, why did you bring Grandma here?" Grandma Sue took a handkerchief and gently wiped the sweat from Soo Han-yu's face, speaking softly. "Today is your graduation day. I insisted on coming, so don't blame Xiao Jin. Let Grandma take a good look at you." Soo Han-yu gently embraced Grandma Sue and spoke softly. "Graduation isn't such a big deal. It's so hot today. Getting heatstroke would be really bad. Grandma, you should also take good care of yourself." This was Soo Han-yu's 5th year in Nanchang. Granny Sue had a peculiar temperament. Yet she took an extraordinary liking to Soo Han-yu and had long regarded her as her own granddaughter. Soo Han-yu had originally planned to apply to Beihua University. But for Grandma Sue's sake, she ultimately decided to apply to Nanhang University, which is equally prestigious as Beihua University. Unexpectedly, after the exam, I ran into Song Jin-chang, who had come to visit and comfort Grandma Sue. It was also at that time that Soo Han-yu learned that Grandma Sue and Song Jin-chang's grandfather were old acquaintances. Grandma Sue's 2 children had not gone far away and disappeared without a trace, but had died unexpectedly while on a mission. For so many years, Grandma Sue had refused to believe it, convinced that they were just angry and unwilling to see her, and thus refused to have any contact with others. When Song Jin-chang learned that Grandma Sue had suddenly gained a granddaughter, he worried that someone might have ulterior motives and came to check, only to unexpectedly encounter Soo Han-yu. After learning about the connection between the two, Grandma Sue also marveled at the power of fate. In the following years, they visited each other more frequently and gradually became familiar with one another. After the graduation ceremony, Song Jin-chang took Soo Han-yu to the restaurant that Grandma Sue had reserved long in advance. While muttering about wasting money, Grandma Sue couldn't stop smiling. Most of the food had been eaten when Song Jin-chang asked about Soo Han-yu. "Now that you've finished college, what are your plans next? Ready to go home and visit?" The mention of going home still made Soo Han-yu visibly uncomfortable. Since the reform and opening up, the southern city has developed rapidly. Soo Han-yu used some of the money she earned from selling hairbands to start a small studio, which later expanded into a company covering various sectors such as clothing and accessories. Over the years, she has earned a considerable amount of money and sent a lot of it to her parents. But she has never returned home. She once asked someone to help her investigate the situation at home and learned that Shenlin still visited the Sue family as usual during every holiday. After hearing this, she lost the courage to go back. Her father was so determined to have her marry Shenlin, and if she returned now, he might pressure her again. She didn't want to go through the trouble of escaping a second time. Thinking of this, Soo Han-yu shook her head and said, "No thanks. I'm planning to take Grandma to a hospital in North City for a checkup, and also to discuss a business deal there and see how the market is." Hearing that they were going to North City for a medical visit, Grandma Sue immediately became unhappy. "I'm just an old bag of bones. Why waste that money? I'm not going. If you have things to do, just focus on them properly. Don't worry about an old woman like me." Seeing that Grandma Sue was being stubborn again, Soo Han-yu coaxed her with a hint of helplessness. "Grandma, how can this be called wasting money? Besides, haven't you always wanted to visit the northern city? Can't we just treat this as a trip? Everything except you is trivial, don't worry about it." Song Jin-chang helped Grandma Sue with the dishes while adding his own persuasion. "Han-yu is right. Coincidentally, I also need to go to Beicheng, so I can go with you. While Han-yu is handling business matters, I can take you around Beicheng to explore. How wonderful would that be?" Hearing that Song Jin-chang was returning to Beicheng, Soo Han-yu exclaimed in surprise. Didn't Uncle Song say you still had to stay in Nanchang? Song Jincheng waved his hand and said helplessly, no matter how much he says. It can't compare to the old master's influence. Still have to go back obediently. After learning that Song Jincheng was also going to Beicheng, Grandma Su finally agreed. Su Hanyu still had many things left to deal with, so she let Song Jincheng take Grandma Su to Beicheng first. And she would catch up later. It was already half a month later when everything was finally settled. Su Hanyu got off the car with her suitcase and sat quietly on a nearby chair, waiting. Originally, Su Hanyu had planned to take Grandma Su for a stroll right after arriving in Beicheng. Unfortunately, news of her bringing Grandma Su to Beicheng had reached Grandpa Song. Grandpa Song insisted on inviting Grandma Su and Su Hanyu for a meal, and Su Hanyu couldn't refuse. So she had no choice but to agree. Song Jincheng volunteered to pick her up, but as luck would have it, he was assigned a last-minute task. Grandpa Song then arranged for someone else to come instead. Su Hanyu initially wanted to refuse, but since old Master Song insisted, she had no choice but to relent. Fortunately, she didn't have to wait long before a young man in black came running toward her. Hello, are you Miss Su? Su Hanyu quickly stood up and asked gently. You must be Comrade Zhang. Zhang Zhiping scratched his hair, embarrassed. Miss Su. Brother Song has already given instructions. Just call me Xiao Zhang. I'll take you to the Song family now. The two of them were talking as they got into the car, but as the door opened, a familiar face came into view. Upon clearly seeing who had arrived, Su Hanyu felt her blood run cold, and she nearly lost her grip on her suitcase. Zhang Zhiping, unaware of Su Hanyu's unusual reaction, explained, "This is our regimental commander, Shen. Mr. Song happened to have some matters to discuss with him, so he gave him a ride along the way." Seeing that Su Hanyu remained silent, Zhang Zhiping cautiously asked, "Miss Su, do you know Commander Shen?" Past lives and all that had passed flashed through her mind like slides, and the suffocating sensation in her heart nearly left Su Hanyu gasping for breath. She steadied her nerves, hearing herself speak in a low voice. "Let's go." Su Hanyu got into the car. Sitting a bit far away from Shenlin, she hadn't failed to imagine meeting Shenlin again, whether in the village, at the company, or even a fleeting glance on the street. No matter which scenario, there was always some space left, allowing her to prepare. It just had to be at this delicate moment. Su Hanyu couldn't quite put her feelings into words. She had thought she had grown a lot over the past 5 years, and that when she saw Shenlin again, she would be calm and composed enough to simply say hello. The truth was that the harm from her past life had wounded Su Hanyu far more deeply than she had imagined, so deeply that even after 5 years, she still harbored hatred for Shenlin. Zhang Zhiping, sitting in the driver's seat, sensed something unusual in the atmosphere, but he secretly glanced at Shenlin, who was seated. Shenlin had always been expressionless, and after watching him for a long time, Zhang Zhiping could detect nothing out of the ordinary. So he eventually gave up. But the Shenlin who was being watched was not as calm as Zhang Zhiping had assumed. He knew Su Hanyu didn't like him, and when she wasn't paying attention, he subtly shifted toward the car door. Nevertheless, the faint, elusive fragrance from Su Hanyu still lingered around Shenlin. Along with it, the white shirt she wore also seemed to shimmer more brightly. He tried his best to restrain his movements, unwilling to appear too attentive and scare Su Hanyu away. For a full 1,873 days, Shenlin had not heard a single piece of news about Su Hanyu. 5 years ago, he had been in a slump at home for a long time. And with the idea of seeing Su Hanyu, he sent Lin Yu to Yucheng for university. Shenlin even thought that as long as he found Su Hanyu and she was willing to come back with him, he would take back the admission notice he had given to Lin Yu and return it to Su Hanyu. Even if doing so would be unfair to Lin Yu, he couldn't care less. He finally realized that he didn't want to, and even more so, couldn't afford to lose Su Hanyu. Isn't it enough that he's willing to let Su Hanyu go to school if she wants to? He still couldn't believe that Su Hanyu truly no longer liked him. On the way to Yucheng, Lin Yu chattered non-stop. He didn't hear a single word. His mind preoccupied with what he should say when he saw Soo Han-yu. Apology. Admission of fault. Or perhaps just as usual. Shenlin thought for a long time. And in the end realized the only thing he truly wanted to say was one sentence. Once you finish college, can we have our wedding again? But in the end, he still couldn't bring himself to say those words. He took Lin Yu to Yucheng University, only to be told that the admission notice had long been invalidated. This student came to inform us in advance that she was unable to enroll due to family reasons and requested to invalidate this admission notice. The staff member from the admissions office spoke while casting a suspicious glance at them. Where did you get this admission notice? In just a few words, Lin Yu was instantly shattered. The admission notice nearly crumpled in her hand as she could only plead desperately. How could this be? I didn't invalidate this admission notice. Could you please revoke it? This is the university I worked so hard to get into. I did not invalidate it. Speaking in a rush, Lin Yu even grabbed Shenlin, urging him to help explain. Brother Shen, tell him quickly. This admission letter is mine. I didn't void this admission letter. Why won't you let me enroll? Shenlin remained motionless, desperately trying to figure out why Soo Han-yu had been willing to tear up their relationship just to attend university. Even fleeing from her parents without a second thought. How could she possibly choose to void this admission letter? He rushed up to the staff member, suppressing his panic as he asked. Did Soo Han-yu come to the school herself to cancel it? Unexpectedly, the staff member said no more, only confirming that it was indeed cancelled by her personally. The vague attitude made Shenlin increasingly uneasy. He pushed Lin Yu aside and, disregarding everything, began posting missing person notices everywhere. Yet for a full 5 years, the only evidence that Soo Han-yu was still alive and well was a regular deposit made into her father's bank account. Shenlin thought he would never see Soo Han-yu again in this lifetime. But he never expected to encounter her under such circumstances. She was not as impoverished or disheveled as he had imagined. Instead, she appeared composed, serene, and even carried a hint of radiant charm. This was a Soo Han-yu he had never seen before, more vibrant and full of life. Everything was reminding him of a fact he least wanted to admit. It seemed that Soo Han-yu had become better after leaving him. An inexplicable sense of frustration, like a wad of cotton, tightly clogged Shenlin's heart, making even his breathing seem to grow labored. The car suddenly came to a stop, and Zhang Jiping turned to look at the back. Miss Soo, Colonel Shen, we've arrived. Soo Han-yu nodded, then eagerly opened the car door. Shenlin looked at his empty hand, paused for a moment before withdrawing it and followed her out of the car. As soon as he saw Soo Han-yu, Song Jincheng immediately stepped forward to greet her. Hey you! You're here. Grandma Soo is waiting for you inside. He wanted to say more, but his gaze suddenly darkened as he caught sight of Shenlin getting out of the car. Zhang Jiping quickly explained beside him. Brother Song. It just so happens that Elder Song has something to discuss with Colonel Shen. So we're going together. Song Jincheng glanced at Soo Han-yu, then nodded. I can't stop the old man from seeing whoever he wants to see. Han-yu, let's go. He shielded Soo Han-yu behind him, his lean and sturdy figure completely blocking her from Shenlin's view. As a fellow man, Shenlin naturally sensed Song Jincheng's hostility and protective instinct. Song Jincheng's defensive attitude clearly indicated some awareness of the relationship between him and Soo Han-yu. But what unsettled him even more was Soo Han-yu's own attitude. Soo Han-yu, who had just been so cautious with him, was unexpectedly relaxed when facing Song Jincheng. He clenched his hand, his thoughts suddenly. Zhang Jiping beside him didn't notice Shenlin's oddness, gazing at the retreating figures of Song Jincheng and Soo Han-yu and sighing. Brother Song and Miss Soo are truly a perfect match. I heard Miss Soo is still a university student. Hearing this, Shenlin abruptly stopped in his tracks. Zhang Jiping was startled and said in a panic, Regiment Commander Shen, I forgot you don't like hearing these things. Sorry, are they together now? Shenlin stared at Song Jincheng's back and asked in a low voice. Zhang Jiping was stunned for a moment, then stammered out an answer after a long pause. Still, not yet. I heard Brother Song hasn't confessed yet. But he's already waited for that girl for 5 years, should be soon now. 5 years. Shenlin's heart tightened. Instinctively recalling Su Hanyu's disappearance 5 years ago. Although the village was so far from the station. With no ox cart or bicycle. Su Hanyu managed to catch the train in less than 6 hours. The tramp's words echoed again in Shenlin's mind. The stranger from 5 years ago suddenly revealed his identity at this moment. He took a deep breath and couldn't help but quicken his pace to catch up with the two. Zhang Jipin. Left behind. Looked completely puzzled and muttered. Isn't Captain Shen always uncomfortable with people talking about personal matters? Why is he suddenly asking about it this time? On the other side, Song Jincheng didn't remain as calm. Frowning and saying, "It was my oversight. I forgot to ask Xiao Zhang if he had arranged for someone else to accompany you. Did he do anything to you?" Su Hanyu shook her head, recalling Shenlin's attitude as she spoke. "It's nothing. Moreover, 5 years have passed. He probably has already forgotten what happened back then. Now, it's time to be with Lin Yu. How could they possibly care about someone like me who ran away from marriage?" Seeing that Su Hanyu didn't mind, Song Jincheng silently swallowed the words that were on the tip of his tongue. He was a man, and naturally could see through Shenlin's calm exterior to the longing gaze he cast upon Su Hanyu. Like someone who has spent 7 days and nights in the desert suddenly seeing a source of water. Filled with fervent. But he had no intention of telling Su Hanyu about these things. He didn't want Su Hanyu to hate Shenlin. Hatred often stems from excessive concern. The more she ignores it, the more it shows that Su Hanyu no longer cares about that past relationship. A discarded former fiancé. Someone who doesn't even have a marriage certificate. How could she possibly compete with him? Thinking of this, Song Jincheng felt even more pleased. And the irritation he had felt upon encountering Shenlin just moments ago dissipated considerably. Grandpa Song and Grandma Su had already been waiting in the living room. And upon seeing Song Jincheng enter with Su Hanyu, their faces lit up with joy. This must be Hanyu. Old Master Song walked up to Su Hanyu and happily glanced at Grandma Su beside her. To be honest, after raising her for a few years, she does bear some resemblance to you. Su Hanyu took out the gift she had prepared in advance. Grandpa Song, this is a small gift I brought for you. It's nothing valuable. I hope you won't mind it. If he minds it, then I'll take it away. Granny Su pretended to snatch it back. But Old Man Song quickly took it over, saying, "You're still acting like a bandit just like in the old days. Since Hanyu gave it to me, of course I'll keep it." As they were speaking, Elder Song also noticed Shenlin catching up and immediately called out, "Ah, right. I almost forgot there are still some matters to attend to. Xiao Jin, take Hanyu and the others to the side hall and entertain them well. I'll join you shortly." Song Jincheng nodded and led Grandma Su and Su Hanyu toward the other side. As she passed by Shenlin, Su Hanyu seemed to catch a glimpse of Shenlin's hand reaching toward her, but only for an instant. Upon closer inspection, she realized that Shenlin's hand was still resting properly at his side. She didn't take this little episode to heart and soon let it go. After about half an hour, Old Master Song finished his official business and invited them to chat together, also extending an invitation for Su Hanyu and Grandma Su to stay for dinner. Grandma Su and Grandpa Song were comrades in arms, and after years of not seeing each other, they simply couldn't stop talking. Su Hanyu and Song Jincheng followed along, listening to many stories from the past, and even had to drink a few glasses of wine to join in the excitement when the conversation got lively. By the time they had eaten and drunk their fill, it was already dark outside. Grandpa Song wanted to invite Grandma Su and Su Hanyu to stay overnight, but neither was accustomed to staying over, so they both declined. The man refused to stay, so Old Master Song instructed Song Jincheng to escort them back to the hotel. Grandma Su rarely drank alcohol, but once she did, she became much more talkative, clutching Su Hanyu's hand and chattering incessantly. Su Hanyu could only smile through her tears, soothing Grandma Su by saying, all right, I'll listen to you, Grandma. We'll just sit here quietly, and we'll fall asleep soon." Song Jincheng rarely saw Su Hanyu acting like this, coaxing someone like a child. And couldn't help but smile. You really have a good relationship with Grandma Su. As night deepened, lights along both sides of the street began to glow. Pedestrians came and went, and vehicles hurried by, making the scene quite lively. The car came to a stop, and Song Jincheng and Su Hanyu helped Grandma Su out together. Just as they were about to enter the hotel, they caught sight of Shenlin standing nearby. Su Hanyu didn't want to engage with Shenlin and turned her head to speak to Song Jincheng instead. Don't mind him. Let's take Grandma upstairs to rest first. Let him stand here if he loves to. Song Jincheng shook his head and whispered. His presence here is just getting in your way. I'll go send him away. You take Grandma Su to rest first. After saying this, Song Jincheng directly waved over the hotel attendant, gave some money, and then had the attendant help Su Hanyu support Grandma Su upstairs to rest. Seeing Song Jincheng's insistence, Su Hanyu had no choice but to nod, not forgetting to remind him, be careful. If they won't listen, just ignore them. Song Jincheng stood in place, watching Su Hanyu enter the inn, and shortly after, the room's light turned on. He lowered his head and immediately spotted Shenlin walking toward him. Commander Shen, you're doing well, so why stoop to following people around? Shenlin raised his head, looking at the room where the light had just come on, and said, this is the best hotel in North City. I didn't need to track you to know you'd book here. Hearing this, Song Jincheng sneered. No wonder Hanyu hasn't wanted to mention you these past few years. In your eyes, is she only fit to rely on others, with no ability to be independent? The inn was found by Hanyu, and she also paid for it, when something hidden deep within was suddenly exposed. Shenlin's breathing became noticeably more rapid. Song Jincheng, how long have you known her? Why pretend to know her so well? What do you even know about her? You're nothing to me. Shenlin had always been calm and reserved, and except for that time with the homeless man, this was the second time he had spoken so rudely in a fit of anger. Seeing Shenlin's furious expression, Song Jincheng sneered coldly. So what if it's been 20 years? It took 20 years of pressure just to get Hanyu to go through a sham wedding with you. Oh. Right, you didn't even submit the marriage application. She doesn't even have a proper status. Song Jincheng rarely showed a hint of smugness, which infuriated Shenlin so much that he momentarily lost his composure and grabbed Song Jincheng by the collar. If it weren't for you, Hanyu would have been my wife long ago. Stop it. A sharp voice came from not far away, and Su Hanyu panted as she ran over, pulling Shenlin's hand away and pushing him back. Shenlin, we had no relationship with each other 5 years ago. What are you still making a fuss about? Su Hanyu watched Shenlin warily, not forgetting to shield Song Jincheng behind her, afraid that he might make any harmful moves. Shenlin noticed Su Hanyu's protective stance, and a flicker of hurt flashed through his eyes. He took a deep breath, suppressing the displeasure in his heart, and asked, Hanyu, we're married. It was him who deceived you, who took you away and kept us apart for 5 whole years. Shenlin, wake up. Su Hanyu looked coldly at Shenlin and said without hesitation, Song Jincheng didn't deceive me, nor did he take me away. From beginning to end, it was all my choice. I even asked him to take me away. Being apart from you is exactly what I wanted. As for what you call marriage, without a marriage certificate, the law won't recognize it. If you keep pestering me, don't blame me for calling the police. After saying that, Su Hanyu took Song Jincheng's hand and walked away in the other direction. Shenlin instinctively wanted to follow, but then stopped in his tracks. He stood there, helplessly watching the 2 figures disappear from his sight. His heart was bitter and aching, the pain spreading uncontrollably through his limbs. Shenlin didn't understand, was the shove from Su Hanyu just now really that forceful? Otherwise, why would it make breathing so difficult for him? Shenlin stood in place for a long time. Long enough for most of the streetlights to dim and the cars on the road to disappear, before slowly turning back. When I arrived downstairs at the rental apartment, Lin Yu, who had been waiting for a long time, suddenly jumped out. Brother Shen, Why did it take you so long to come back? Did something happen? Shenlin looked at Lin Yu for a long time but still didn't mention the incident of meeting Su Hanyu today. Nothing. How's your preparation for this exam going? When her admission letter was invalidated and Lin Yu couldn't attend university, she had no choice but to return to the village. Shenlin went to great lengths to give Lin Yu a chance to return to the city. It just so happened that Lin Yu's mother, seeing that Lin Yu hadn't gotten into college, wanted to marry her off, using the bride price to get a wife for Lin Yu's brother. Lin Yu was desperate and, seeing that her mother wouldn't budge, turned to Shenlin. Originally, Shenlin wanted to pay the bride price himself. But who would have thought that Lin Yu's mother was determined to marry her off? With no other choice, Lin Yu turned to Shenlin once again. Brother Shen, I don't want to get married. I want to go to college. How about you marry me? I promise I won't cause any trouble and will study hard to prepare for the college entrance exam. She thought Shenlin would agree. But unexpectedly, Shenlin, who had always granted her every wish, refused her. My wife is Su Hanyu. I cannot marry you. But she ran away. Lin Yu clung to Shenlin's arm, nearly frantic, begging, besides, you don't have a marriage certificate so you're not officially married. Brother Shen, you promised my father you'd take good care of me. Are you going to break the contract? Shenlin did not break the contract. He used all his savings to buy Lin Yu 5 years of time. As long as Lin Yu could get into college within those 5 years, her mother would not force her to marry. 5 years have passed. And this is the last chance. Lin Yu naturally understood what Shenlin meant by these words. She stopped in her tracks, her expression defeated. Brother Shen, is this the only thing we can talk about between us? An unexplained weariness washed over Shenlin, and he raised a hand to press against his brow. It's getting late. You should rest early too. I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. He ignored Lin Yu's pestering and headed straight upstairs. Lin Yu watched Shenlin's retreating figure, unconsciously biting her lip. Since Su Hanyu left 5 years ago, Shenlin's attitude toward her has changed significantly. If she hadn't continued to blackmail him with their past kindness, Shenlin would have long since abandoned her. She had thought that after 5 years, even the hardest heart would be softened by her. Unexpectedly, Shenlin was as stubborn as a log, refusing to agree no matter what. And today he was even colder toward her. On instinct, Lin Yu felt that Shenlin must have encountered something today. After pulling Song Jincheng to the inn, Su Hanyu immediately let go, looking at Song Jincheng with an apologetic expression. I'm sorry. I troubled you just now. Song Jincheng felt the warmth from his arm moments ago, then slightly turned his hand behind his back and smiled. You're being too formal. Shenlin still hasn't given up on you. I think it's best if I stay by your side for a while. Su Hanyu shook her head and said helplessly. You rarely get a vacation. How can you waste your time on me? Besides, you've already helped me so much over the past few years. I feel bad for troubling you again. Su Hanyu's words were sincere, and her gaze towards Song Jincheng was as clear as lake water, without a hint of pretense or hesitation. As he looked at her, Song Jincheng suddenly lost himself in thought. What's wrong? Noticing Song Jincheng's daze, Su Hanyu asked curiously. Song Jincheng suddenly woke up, unconsciously smiling, then raised his hand to rub Su Hanyu's hair and said, I don't feel like there's any trouble. Besides, Grandma Su is an old friend of the old man, so for her sake, I must take good care of him. Isn't tomorrow the day we're going to the hospital? Just wait for me. Okay. Without giving Su Hanyu a chance to refuse, Song Jincheng turned and quickly walked away, his hurried departure almost resembling a hasty retreat. Su Hanyu couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, but she couldn't quite pinpoint what it was. She went up the stairs and returned to the room, only to find Grandma Su standing by the window. Grandma, why aren't you asleep yet? Su Hanyu quickly walked over, following Grandma Su's line of sight, and happened to see Song Jincheng looking back every few steps. It's just that Grandma's position was somewhat hidden, so Song Jincheng probably couldn't see her direction. You. Was that young man today the one you almost married? Grandma Su held Su Hanyu's hand and asked earnestly. Su Hanyu took a deep breath, still unable to bear keeping it a secret any longer, and then nodded. I never thought I'd run into him in Beicheng after 5 years. But I've made it clear to him. He shouldn't bother you anymore. Grandma Su raised her hand and gently stroked Su Hanyu's face, saying softly, Hanyu, you know too little about men. He won't give up. Just in time. I have something to ask you. What are your thoughts about Xiao Jin? Su Hanyu didn't quite understand and grabbed Grandma Su's hand, saying, what does this have to do with him? Shenlin is Shenlin. I can handle things between us. I don't need his help. Seeing Su Hanyu's clueless expression, Grandma Su sighed in frustration. Who said anything about Shenlin? Can't you see that Song Jincheng's attitude towards you is anything but ordinary? Ordinary friends wouldn't act like this. Seeing Su Hanyu stunned, Grandma Su patted her hand and said, Grandma is tired and going to bed now. Think it over carefully. Su Hanyu was stunned for a moment and instinctively reached out to help Grandma Su. But Grandma Su pointed out the window, signaling that she didn't need to be concerned about. Su Hanyu turned around in confusion, only to find that Song Jincheng had stopped in his tracks at some point, standing still and staring intently in her direction. Although the distance was too far to clearly see Song Jincheng's expression, Su Hanyu could still feel him smiling at her. And she couldn't help but unconsciously smile in return. It was at that very moment that Grandma Su's words echoed in her ears once more. Between a man and a woman. If they're not ordinary friends, then what kind of friends could they be? Since her rebirth, Su Hanyu had been on edge almost every moment. She feared being taken back to get married, feared that all her struggles would turn to nothing, and even more, feared that everything since her rebirth might just be a dream. Occasionally, Su Hanyu would ask herself, what exactly was she afraid of? She had asked herself many times, and each time the answer she could come up with was simply that she didn't want to lose herself. She had had enough of her previous life without any sense of self-worth, giving everything only to be despised by everyone. That's why she never considered marriage. Now that Grandma Su asked, she felt somewhat bewildered. Her thoughts were chaotic, and even her dreams became a jumbled mess. It was like being stuck in a muddy pit, stepping in deep and shallow, not knowing when she might step into a deep hole and be completely swallowed by the mud. In a half-suffocating state, she recalled another past incident. It was 1 month before her college entrance exam when she started having frequent nightmares. In her dreams, she always thought of past life matters, the torment from Shen's mother, the rudeness of Shen's younger siblings, and various chaotic affairs, like creeping vines slowly entwining around Su Hanyu, leaving her no time to attend to anything else. As time passed, the vines turned into threads, manipulating her, who was constantly on the run, into a puppet. The silk threads tore through her body, making her no longer delicate and beautiful, no longer as composed as before. Yet everyone only blamed her for not being hardworking enough, not being determined enough, with no one sparing a glance for the silk threads that were the true culprits. The entanglement of these nightmares caused Su Hanyu to lose a significant amount of weight, and her spirits also became noticeably low. Just at this moment, Song Jincheng suddenly appeared before her with a bouquet of morning glories. Someone said this flower has magic, able to drive away nightmares and grant a good night's sleep. Just right for you. Su Hanyu looked at the morning glory still glistening with dew and couldn't help but smile. Aren't you a materialist warrior? Be careful with these flowers, or Grandpa Song will scold you. Unexpectedly, Song Jincheng pulled out a small bag as if performing a magic trick. Smiling at Su Hanyu, a materialist warrior naturally prepared medicine for you. Don't worry. I asked the doctor, there are no side effects, and it won't affect your studies. As for these morning glories, let's treat them as a momentary idealism from a materialist warrior. Anyway, it's not worth the trouble. Song Jincheng, while swaying the flowers, held them up in front of Su Hanyu. Su Hanyu reluctantly accepted them, but when she tried to pay, Song Jincheng refused. Song Jincheng only had 7 days of vacation, and each of those 7 days, he brought her fresh morning glories. Although Su Hanyu laughed at Song Jincheng for believing in this She still specially bought a small vase and placed the morning glories inside. Whether it was the medicine or the effect of the morning glories, Soo Han-yu indeed stopped having nightmares and was able to sleep peacefully and soundly. She thought that after the 7 days had passed, there would be no more morning glories. Unexpectedly, on the 8th day, a child holding morning glories appeared and said to her seriously, "This is what Brother Song asked me to give to Sister Sue." Soo Han-yu wanted to refuse, but the child said seriously, "Brother Song paid my grandfather's medical bills. He said it's my reward for delivering flowers to you every day. If you don't accept it, he won't pay." Hearing this, Soo Han-yu had no choice but to accept it. Later, she called Song Jincheng to ask about the matter, but he responded with indifference. "That kid has a strong sense of pride. He wouldn't feel comfortable accepting something for free. Isn't this a win-win solution I came up with? Does Sister Sue really have the heart to refuse a child?" The last sentence was spoken in a childlike tone, making Soo Han-yu unable to help but laugh. But only after her college entrance exam did she realize that the place in Nanchang with morning glories was near the child's home. Yet it was over 10 kilometers away from where Song Jincheng lived. The child could reach her place in just 1 hour, but Song Jincheng would need 3 hours. Those 7 days, he would rise before dawn each day to pick morning glory flowers, just to give her the earliest, freshest, and most beautiful ones. The morning glories from years ago seemed to be working their magic again. As if guided by fate, the chaotic thoughts faded away, and a serene patch of purple and white gradually filled the entire dream, allowing Soo Han-yu to slowly drift into sleep. For several days in a row, Shenlin did not appear before Soo Han-yu again. While busy with company matters, Soo Han-yu took Grandma Sue to see a doctor and, on the way, had a comprehensive checkup done. Fortunately, after examining her, the doctor said that Grandma Sue was too old and overworked, and that she would be fine as long as she got plenty of rest. When leaving the hospital, Grandma Sue was still chattering away. "I already said it's nothing serious. See, isn't this just wasting money? These days, it's not easy to earn a little money. A young girl like you should focus on dressing up nicely. Why spend it on an old lady like me?" Song Jincheng supported Grandma Sue and chimed in. "Grandma Sue, don't worry about the money, no matter what. It's not like we're lacking your little bit." Just as she was about to get into the car, a familiar voice suddenly came from not far away. "Han-yu." Upon hearing this, Soo Han-yu trembled all over. She turned around and immediately spotted Sue's father and mother standing beside Shenlin. The moment she saw Soo Han-yu clearly, Mrs. Sue rushed over, tears welling up in the corners of her eyes. "Han-yu, it really is you. Let Mom take a good look at you." Soo Han-yu seemed a bit flustered, and she tried to steady her voice as she spoke. "Mom, Dad, how did you get here? If we hadn't come, were you planning to never come back?" Father Sue stormed over, his gaze towards Song Jincheng filled with even more wariness. "I've heard from Shaolin. It was you who took Han-yu away, wasn't it? Do you know I can call the police?" Sue's mother quickly grabbed Sue's father and scolded him. "What are you saying? Who was it that cried about regretting driving Han-yu away in the first place? Now that we've finally found Han-yu, are you really going to drive her away again?" Father Sue glared at Mother Sue, saying angrily, "Back then, I thought something had happened to her, that she was being forced. But in the end, it was her own momentary willfulness that made her run away. Still fooling around with other men in the old days. You'd be drowned in a pig cage. Have you said enough?" Grandma Sue raised her voice, her eyes blazing with anger as she glared at Sue's father. "You drove your own daughter away, yet you blame all the mistakes on her. It's been 5 years, and all you have as a father is criticism. Have you ever asked how hard it is for a young girl like her to survive out there? How much she's suffered?" Mr. Sue was taken aback, then scolded in response. "So what? She brought this suffering upon herself. She deserves it." Seeing that Grandma Sue was about to get angry again, Soo Han-yu quickly held her hand, took a deep breath, and said, "Right. It's me who's suffering. Even if I suffer the most outside, I will never follow your arrangement and marry Shenlin. Anyway, In your eyes. A daughter who can't marry Shenlin is no different from dead. Right. Smack. Almost the moment the words were spoken, Father Su raised his hand and slapped Su Hanyu hard across the face. Everyone present was stunned. And even Mr. Su looked at his own hand with disbelief. Hanyu. Song Jin immediately turned to look at Su Hanyu's face. His heart aching. I'll take you to see a doctor. Su Hanyu stopped Song Jincheng, holding back tears as she said, no need. I'll take this slap. Since he likes Shenlin so much, he might as well acknowledge Shenlin as his son and not want me as his daughter. I'm putting it out there, I won't go back. And I certainly won't marry Shenlin. I'll pay every penny I owe, but for the rest of the time, just consider me dead as your daughter. After saying this, Su Hanyu directly took Grandma Su into the car. Song Jincheng's face turned ashen as he looked at Su's father and mother, uncle and aunt. If you have even a shred of familial affection for Hanyu, you should try to understand what she has been through in the past. If you still insist on being stubborn, then I believe Hanyu's decision to leave will be the most correct choice she has ever made in her life. Having said what needed to be said, Song Jincheng didn't linger any longer. He turned around and got straight into the car. After all this commotion, Su Hanyu still agreed to Song Jincheng's suggestion and temporarily moved into the Song family with Grandma Su. Unexpectedly, Su's father somehow learned of Song Jincheng's identity and caused a huge uproar, which alarmed Old Master Song. Old Master Song, who had lived a clear and upright life, was now accused in his old age of indulging his grandson in abducting an innocent young girl. And naturally, he was furious. However, after Song Weihai explained everything, Old Master Song fell silent for a long time before finally asking Su Hanyu, Hanyu, do you want me to step in and send them away? Su Hanyu shook her head and spoke up. No need. I'll handle it. Despite this, Old Master Song was worried that Su's father might imprison Su Hanyu again. So he simply invited them all to the Song family's reception room. After 5 years, this was the first time Su Hanyu saw Shenlin, Lin Yu, and her parents, Su's father and mother. So calmly, a group of people sat together. An elder Song was the first to speak. 5 years have passed. To prevent you from not knowing your daughter, let's take a look at these things first. An album was brought over, and upon opening it, it turned out to be the little moments of Su Hanyu's life over the past 5 years. From selling hairbands, learning embroidery, and staying up late to prepare for exams, to gradually setting up a small studio, receiving admission letters, and winning awards. In the photos, Su Hanyu never seemed to rest, as if she was busy with something every moment, yet her face always carried a spirited energy. Vibrant and full of life. It seemed as though she was a completely different person from the Su Hanyu of the past. Su Hanyu instinctively looked at Song Jincheng, only to see him giving her a reassuring smile. Grandma Su also spoke up from the side. The first time I met Hanyu was when she had just arrived in Nanchang, couldn't speak the local dialect, and had her money stolen. A young girl, unfamiliar with the place and the language, facing difficulties that need no explanation. I offered to lend her money to go back, but she refused. She told me she risked her life to escape, and she would rather die out here than go back. You're all just pushing her to marry Shenlin. But have any of you ever asked why she doesn't want to? Father Su took a deep breath and spoke up. Why else? Isn't it just because she's arrogant and thinks she's better than Xiaolin in every way? Why doesn't she take a look around? Who in the entire region is better than Xiaolin? Can parents like us possibly harm her? Song Jincheng asked. So in Uncle Su's eyes, your daughter is such a worthless person. She doesn't deserve better. Not worth reading. Not worth working. Not worth living according to one's own desires. In your eyes, is her worth only that of a woman who manages household chores, cooks, and cleans? Su's father suddenly stood up. Furious. Is this my daughter's worth for you to judge? Besides, which daughter hasn't gone through this? They all end up fine and happy. Then why don't you ask if mother is happy? Su Hanyu also stood up, meeting her father's gaze as she spoke. She's been the good woman in your eyes for decades. Ask her if she's happy. Happy to have been confined at home for decades. Washing clothes, cooking, sewing, and cleaning. Happy that despite learning so many skills, in your eyes, I'm still just a useless woman who only knows how to ask for money. Father Sue grew even angrier, slamming the table as he said, "Why isn't she happy? Not having to work and having no worries about food and clothing. What's the big deal about doing a little work? If she doesn't do it, should I, a grown man, have to do it? I'm not happy." A powerful voice interrupted Mr. Sue's words. He paused for a moment, then turned to look at Sue's mother, who had somehow risen to her feet. "The day Hanyu left, I saw her. I personally let her go and covered up her whereabouts. Hayu is right. I'm not happy. Without you, I can support myself with my own hands and feet. And others would even praise me for being capable. I can marry you, but you think I just stay at home every day eating and drinking, doing nothing. You work hard to earn money, but I handle social obligations, do laundry, cook, clean inside and out, and take care of the elders. Where isn't that tiring? On what grounds are you accusing me like this?" As she spoke, Sue Mu's tears began to fall uncontrollably. She took a deep breath and said, "I'll make this clear. Whoever forces Hanyu to marry Shenlin again, even if it costs me my life, I won't let that person off. This life hasn't been good to me, but my daughter must not live like this. She can get into college, graduate successfully, and also earn money by running her own business. My daughter is so much stronger than a group of men. Why should she be forced to give up everything?" After saying this, Sue's mother walked step by step to Su Hanyu, shielding her without hesitation in the manner of a mother, offering a protection that had been 25 years overdue. Shenlin stood up and said urgently, "I didn't ask Hanyu to give up everything, but it was you who took my admission letter." Su Hanyu stared at Shenlin and suddenly asked, "Shenlin, I have a question for you. Answer with your conscience. That time on the hillside, did you really think I was the one who pushed Lin Yu down?" Hearing this, Lin Yu instinctively looked at Shenlin, her entire heart tightening even more, seeing Shenlin remain silent. Su Hanyu couldn't help but sneer with a mocking smile. "You see, you know it's not. Shenlin, you think I'm heartless, but in truth, the most heartless and selfish one is you. You clearly like me, but because this marriage was forced upon you by your mother, you deny your feelings and blame everything on me. It was you who neglected and belittled me. Yet when I wanted to call off the engagement, you were unwilling and even resorted to scheming to force me. You knew full well it wasn't me who pushed Lin Yu, but to make me stay, you insisted it was me who did it. That way you can justifiably take my admission letter. On one hand, I repaid the favor, and on the other hand, I can't escape your control. You keep saying you respect me, yet you want me to tolerate Lin Yu for the sake of the favor her father did for you. But I am an independent person, not your appendage. Why should your debt of gratitude be used to bind me?" Shenlin wanted to argue, but he opened his mouth and found himself at a loss for words. Su Hanyu took a deep breath and spoke. "Things have come to this. If you still insist on making trouble, I could escape once, and I can do it again. As long as I'm willing, I can outlive you all." The resolute words made Sue's father suddenly appear much older. He took a few steps back, fell into his chair, and finally closed his eyes, saying, "You're right. Gratitude is my own matter, nothing to do with you and your daughter. Since you're unwilling, then let's just forget it." The farce finally came to an end. Shenlin wanted to say something more, but Lin Yu shouted loudly, forcing Shenlin to leave. As she passed by Su Hanyu, she heard a soft apology. This apology, Su Hanyu had waited for decades, for 2 lifetimes. Now, hearing it, there wasn't even a ripple in her heart. Sue's parents wanted to go back, but old Master Song invited them to stay and enjoy themselves in the northern city first. Su Hanyu stood under the eaves, gazing at the birds flying in the trees. Lost in thought, Song Jincheng came to her side and asked curiously, "What are you looking at?" Meeting Song Jincheng's gaze, Soo Han-yu suddenly smiled. I think this courtyard looks a bit empty. What do you think about planting some flowers? Just morning glories. Song Jincheng seemed suddenly entranced, stammering out, Okay. Seeing Song Jincheng like this, Soo Han-yu found it even more amusing. She leaned closer to his eyes and asked, How long is that? Almost explicit words made Song Jin immediately understand what it meant. He carefully took Soo Han-yu's hand and said earnestly, As long as you're willing, I can stay with you for a lifetime.